this truck means a lot to you
It
and
does,
your family.
very much.
You know, and I really want to put that part in there. You know, when you have something like this becomes something it's priceless.
It is. It's not a truck to me. It's not my other trucks in my fleet are my tools. You know, like you'll use them as you would any tool. They have a job, and that's what they're used for. And that's what this truck was originally to me. I bought this truck, and it was my primary, it was my only truck when I started my company. And I've kept it since I started. And as I've done projects on it my whole life, my family has grown up with this truck. My daughters and my wife have helped me work on it. My nephew has. And those memories are more valuable to me than the value of the truck. I redid this truck as a trophy to my company of what we've accomplished as a company. You know, my drivers, my office staff, my wife, my family, you know, they all have a part of this truck, whether it's manual labor, emotional support, financial support. You know, the truck is a trophy to my family, my business, and my friends.
Love it, brother. Hey, I'm telling you, if you guys don't know, on camera, off camera, one of the most humble guys I've ever met in my life.
This guy's a dick.
You know. All right, what's going on, mother truckers? I'm here with my buddy.
Another round, guys. Another round.
Part 2, part
Here we
3,
go.
part 4, part
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. The only one suckered up enough to do this like 9 times now.
11 times.
11, shit.
You know.
Yeah, nice.
I got a new segment, and this is the real segment of it all. I've been talking to a lot of builders, a lot of people, and everyone's been saying that your truck is truly pretty much the most custom handmade truck right now in the world.
I mean, there's a very select few. You know, there's a select few that are, you know, top of my list, and I built this truck to try to be at their level, you know, and so we all try to raise the bar on each other, and this is my contribution to raising the bar. And you know, right now, showing this year, there's 1 or 2 that compete pretty steadily, but this is what I got.
I heard that. So let's walk the things that were handmade.
Sure.
And let the world figure out if they think that this truck is up to the title that we said.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, so where do we start?
To start off, I've got this billet machined trim ring. Hides all the rivets and everything that Carl at Rockwood Products made for us. It's not a one-off, but it is very limited built. But normally this is all riveted in, and it gets kind of wavy and things. And Carl makes this out of a real high-end billet. It's just a beautiful piece. You know, and so to start the truck, we had to have something, you know, very much like that to complement our Roadworks grill and grill bars that we have. 12-gauge Customs made us one-off, custom made this 19-inch bumper for me. This is actually a stainless bumper that started as a flat sheet, and they rolled the ends of it. And the biggest thing with this bumper is on the back, most of the time these plates bolt on, and they welded this all on, tigged it, and then made this finish like show mirror quality. They also made this light housing that bolts onto it. So this bumper and this light combination, this is one-off. 12-gauge Customs out of Canada made that for us. And, you know, nobody else has that. I promise you that. They also, my visor is 12-gauge Customs. They made that. They made my air cleaner breather bars. That it's a strapless kit. But these are also a one-off because of my suicide doors. My air cleaner has to be moved forward, so they had to re-geometry this to move my can forward so the door will clear. So the clearance is so tight in the back. So that's a hand-built piece for us. The shop at TA stretched my factory aluminum Peterbilt fenders 4 inches. So what we actually did was we cut this fender in half, and we took another new factory fender and sectioned in a factory piece so that we retained this factory body line and the flow of it, and then welded it back together and body worked it all in on the inside and out, so you can't tell that that's been done. But this whole thing has been stretched 4 inches, and the reason we did that was to be able to line this up with the bottom of the boxes, and we also had to stretch the hood panel at the same time so that you have this steady flow right here. A lot of guys, this will be up higher, or else even this will be dropped down, and this doesn't line up, and that just wasn't acceptable. I wanted like it is here. So that was, not a huge undertaking, but it is definitely a custom feature. We had road skins custom made us these step plates that went on my 12 gauge box covers, and they were able to put my logo in here in chrome in the rubber tread plate. So obviously nobody else wants my logo on their truck, so this is a one-off piece that was made for it. The cab panels, other than that, are pretty much this is 12 gauge mirror brackets that they make. They're not a one-off for this truck, but they're not a factory piece as well. It's a custom flip deal. I don't know if you want to do anything on the engine or just keep going back.
Yeah, I want to show it to let people really know that hard work that you put in the 10 months that it took you, the blood, sweat, and tears, while running a company and making this happen.
Sure. Okay, well, my buddy Bones Welding and Fab did all the chassis hard fab work on here, and so he made the flush mounted deck plate on the top, and underneath of it is also all enclosed in sheet metal, and it's got a tunnel for the drive shaft. So he made all of this. My eye panel is what holds this up, and he made the steel or the stainless steel insert for it, to fit in, as well as the same on the back, so that it matches front to back. He also handmade these suspension brackets. So by doing these, we were able to hide all of the bolts that normally would hold this to the hanger, to the frame, and eliminated that cast hanger that it just doesn't really look good. It's easy for the factory to keep, casting those pieces out, but we wanted something that looked good and was smaller. But at the same time, by doing that, we moved up the mounting surface from where it would normally be, and that allowed us to lower the back of the truck and still correct the driveline angle, so we don't have any vibrations or anything like that. Everything's kosher there. So it's actually a function as well as appearance, because it helped get the truck lower as well. When he had at his shop, then we had to remake our own suspension stops. The factory one is kind of a triangle piece, again cast, and it's not really a pretty piece, so we just eliminated it altogether. We made our own top plates to hold our U-bolts in place, and then that's what it's a whole aftermarket stop plate. He made my fifth wheel mount that is originally, it went on in 2 pieces. It's stud welded from the back, so you don't see any of the bolt heads or anything. It went on half and half, and then it got welded back in and body worked and painted, so it looks, now it is one piece, and it looks like it's kind of welded onto it, but it actually is bolted in there, and it's finished that way. York Fenders out of Pennsylvania made us these fenders. We gave them the dimensions that we wanted for the height and the radius, the width, and all that, and they rolled these fenders specifically for this truck and trailer, and he did a beautiful job. They fit perfect, so I'm very happy with them. At the back of the frame, we eliminated the original rear cross member that would go on the back of the frame, because we didn't want the seams and anything like that, and we welded plate steel, all formed plate steel onto here, so this is all part of the frame now. None of this will bolt off, none of it will come apart. It's all welded in, fixed for life. We put the logo in here kind of like as a Peterbilt oval so that it kind of fits with what normally is there. Then on our tail lights, we didn't want to see any of the fasteners like you normally see with rivets holding them in and stuff. So these stainless plates are all, they have studs welded on in the holes where the lights would go, and the light bolts on from the back, and then this piece bolts into the actual frame bracket. And once that's done, then the fenders go on and they bolt in through the back of the fender into tapped holes on here. So you don't see any fasteners on the fenders or anything like that, just so that it's all totally smooth, seamless. You know, everything is just buttered out to where you don't have any fasteners and all that stuff, you know. So that was the big thing we were going for on this, is just smooth and very finished. Starting on the trailer, then we also enclosed the whole bottom of the trailer and put our underglow lights on, dual rev, so we run amber down the road and then blue at the shows when we're stationary. So front to back, it's plated underneath. And then we took it one step further that most guys don't do, and we plated in the middle also. So from the front to the back, it is plated, you know, all the way under there. Everything is enclosed, so you don't see any of the ugly cross members or anything like that. Keeping everything very smoothed out. On the panel in the back, between the axles where all the air tanks are, just as a little bit of a detail, so that it wasn't just plain blah aluminum, we went ahead and we measured it all out and cut spacing so that the air tanks protrude out of it. So that way you get a little contrast and a little bit extra detail. It's just kind of a cool feature to have, you know, a little bit of extra detail on it is you know, what we were after there. And then again, our T-bars on here for holding the fenders, everything works the same way. All smooth where there's no fasteners showing or anything, but they're all shaped and matched the same shape as the tractor.
Sheesh.
The Quick Draw Conestoga kit was custom ordered for us. This is a 53-foot trailer, and then we also added 6 inches of height to it. So it's actually a 103-inch inside height is the kit height. So it's tall and long, so it's a pretty big kit. You know, that is, they're always custom made for each trailer, but that's basically what the custom part of the kit on this one is.
Pop it and show some engine work.
Yeah, I'll show you that, and then I'll show you the inside. So under the hood, Dynaflex hooked us up with their new intake kit. So this is not a one-off, but it is a new piece that you can get from Dynaflex, just the maker of the exhaust. So it's an intake kit. Comes with the, you know, the intake into the turbo. It comes with your air-to-air tubes. Then PDI made us a chrome turbo and set us up with their manifold and stuff. So again, it's not a one-off, but it's a pretty custom piece. There's not a lot of chrome turbos out there. At TA Truck Painting did a pretty cool feature on this truck that was one of my bucket list things, is on the firewall we shaved everything off. I've seen guys that have removed things and cleaned it up and whatnot, and anything is good, but we didn't want anything. So we actually made our own wiring harness for the truck, our own AC system, removed all the factory components and relocated them behind the actual firewall and covered it in smooth to, you know, just make sure all that ugly is hidden, you know, just keep it out of sight, out of mind. My fab guy at Bones also made my hood guides, custom, you know, one-piece hood guides that are smoothed out, and they match, the angle here matches the rear suspension hanger, as well as my cab mounts that hold my cab on. We made those as well, just, you know, to make as much as we could be hidden, you know. We wanted to, you know, just smooth everything out and keep it where you couldn't see anything. So we went as far as the brackets that 12 gauge provides with the 12 gauge air ride kit. We plated them and covered them in to where they're stud mounted now. The nuts come on from the back, but you don't see any of the bolts there. TA truck painting, sanded out all the axle housings, all the casting marks, anything like that was just a rough cast surface. They sanded everything out and body worked everything in on the rear ends, everything like that, just so that when you open the hood, you don't have any rough surfaces to clean. Nothing looks all scaly or whatnot. So that's kind of to go with that. We took the body side of it further than most would, to get that done. I had a lot of chroming work done from Custom Plating Specialties. Yeah, like they chromed my hood springs, my radiator stay rods. They chromed my alternator housing, my engine lift plates on the front and the back one back there. They chromed all that stuff. On the other side, you can see I got the peanut cover plate for the cat from 75 Chrome Shop. They took care of that. It's the factory one that's all chromed and it's real nice. We actually had the original oil tank reservoir chromed and the brackets that hold it. The breather vent tube, the coolant tubes, that is from SH Tube, and they did my trailer dolly crank as well. Beautiful products they have. I would definitely endorse them. They fit good, and their bends are all real nice. No tight kinks or anything, so everything is smooth and slippery looking. So they did a great job. We actually didn't want to see the skeleton on the inside of the hood, so we sheet metaled it all in to match with the stripes of the outside, but at the same time it covered up all the frame bracing inside of the hood so that it's easy to clean, it doesn't trap dirt, and it matches inside and out. If you stand up here and look over the hood, the stripes line up perfectly. We got pretty hot topic that goes on now is these windshields. These are actually 359 style windshields and windshield gaskets with the lock ring and the smaller rubber gasket. And Randy at Spare Time Fab hooked us up with these and shipped them to us, and we had them put in, and it kind of gives it a classic look, but it lets you see the paint more, like up the center of the hood strip and in the corners and stuff. You don't have a big rubber flat gasket that would cover this, so they just have a cleaner fit look to them. Inside, we basically gutted the truck, like totally gutted it. There's nothing factory in here anymore. 12 gauge Customs built me this custom aluminum dash. It's a one-off. They have a template, and then you give them feedback of what you want as far as your gauge layout, your switch layout, things like that. And so there's nobody else that has a dash exactly like this one. There's a couple out there that resemble it, but theirs is tailored to what they wanted, and mine is how I wanted it. So road skins that made my step treads also made my pedals. I wanted some small pedals just because it would be different and look cool, and so they came out with this design, and they made these pedals to kind of go with the theme of what we were looking for. Smaller and clean, custom looking. So it's again stuff that nobody has. My seats are actually from the automotive industry. They're a rally car seat is what they're intended for. There's no, you can see there's no air ride suspension like a typical truck seat. We made our own bases that would mount where a typical truck seat would mount, and then that's basically the adapter to be able to use these seats. So that that way we retrofitted them in to kind of keep it something that you wouldn't buy in a truck market. That's the same with my steering wheel. It's a 14-inch billet steering wheel, and we removed the trim ring out of it and painted it to match the truck to kind of try to bring some of the outside color in, just as a small accent detail. We took the factory flooring out, and my upholster shop that did all the upholstery work, he made a leather wrapped floor with this carpet inlay, and he used the same colors on the seats and the headliner, all that, so it all flows through through the truck, you know, and keeping it simple but yet pretty customized. There's backlighting in my door handles, so all the door handles light up at night and stuff, and just makes an accent light on the panel, and it looks very nice. We also, a few years ago, suicided my doors to where they open reverse from a normal truck. A normal truck opens this way. We made ours open the opposite way, just for something a little bit more custom. While we did that, we removed the door handles, so there's no external latches. Everything opens on a remote, so you can, you know, lock the truck, shut it up, and it's secure. You know, nobody else can get in or what. So we also did the same on the sleeper doors, just so that it was smooth. We removed the factory vent that would be in here, fresh air vent. We took that out and just reskinned the whole door so that it doesn't have the handle, doesn't have the vent, and it just, when it's closed, it just looks seamless. There's no, you know, hardware or anything like that to start corroding or pitting or anything. Evans Detailing and Polishing took my factory hinges and they polished the stainless. The factory hinges are stainless, but they're not shiny. So we took them the hinges and they polished them to where they look chrome now, but it's just the factory hinge that we went above. We took all the interior out of the sleeper as well, and we just used the same material, but then instead of the bed putting back in, we put in this, it's an RV couch, and it'll actually fold down flat into a bed. Most of the time I just leave it as a couch, you know, appearance wise it looks nice that way, but that is, you know, it actually does function as a bed if you need to. When we were doing all the body work and stuff, total appearance, shaved all the welds out of my fuel tanks and my air tanks. Normally these end caps are, you know, well, not normally, they still are welded on, but normally you can see a decent weld right here. We smoothed all that out, flush mounted these caps to where there's no weld in here either. So everything is just very clean and smoothed out. And then I guess last but not least, the biggest detail, or one of my favorites, is my driveline. A driveline shop up in Green Bay made me a complete new driveline from the back of the transmission all the way to the rear end, and then we took it to Custom Plating Specialties and had it chromed. And there's very, very few trucks on the road that have a chromed out driveline. And so even then we took it one step further, and every nut, every knuckle, the carrier bearings, the hardware for the strap kits, on the U-joints, everything. We chromed everything. And so it's pretty custom on that, the driveline side of it. Is you're not gonna find another one like this one. At the end, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.